off Thursday. They host Oakland tonight, 6-11. Garrett Crochet, the starter. The Sox have 15 games to go and have 114 losses. The Major League record, 120, set by the 1962 Mets. The Bears visit Houston on Sunday. At practice Thursday, wide receivers Rome Odunze and Keenan Allen remained out. The Bears beat the Titans 24-17 to open the season, while the Texans beat the Colts 29-27. Illinois football plays host to Central Michigan tomorrow. The 2-0 start, the best in head coach Brett Bielema's 4 seasons. Northwestern home tomorrow against Eastern Illinois. Both teams come in with 1-1 records.
Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive.
I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API-SP test limits.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Joe Fallon's bedroom mini fridge. Sure, this pint-sized chiller's max capacity is 3 soda cans, but what it lacks in stature, it makes up in cooling strength. Each beverage a perfect 37 degrees every time. And the 2 feet Joe walks to get a drink, priceless. That's why his mini fridge is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other.
Taqueria Las Cumbres, Crystal Lake's authentic Mexican restaurant on Grant Street, is open for carryout. For over 15 years, Taqueria Las Cumbres has been serving up all of your favorite Mexican dishes and doing it better than the rest. Recently voted the best in McHenry County. Stop in and carry out the authentic taste of Mexico and see for yourself. Support local for lunch and dinner today and place an order from Taqueria Las Cumbres. Call 815-455-8200 for Taqueria Las Cumbres of downtown Crystal Lake.
The Triple Berry Cafe of Crystal Lake offers incredible breakfast and lunch options for you, and now the coffee bar is open for you to enjoy. Stop in and enjoy a relaxing cup of coffee in a peaceful setting, and if you're hungry, the Triple Berry Cafe is ready to provide you with homemade goodness. Enjoy omelets, skillets, pancakes, crepes, waffles, and much more for breakfast. Stop in at the Triple Berry Cafe for lunch and enjoy signature sandwiches, burgers, wraps, salads, and healthy options are available as well. Triple Berry Cafe, just off Randall Road in Crystal Lake. Now with a coffee bar.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Out to Lunch with WRMN AM 1410, Voice of the Valley, Talk of the Town, broadcasting live here from downtown Elgin. Got some nice upbeat music here today. It's the 11 o'clock hour. And what I'm going to do here is kind of fade out from some of this good feeling vibe music, and we'll get a little head start here on some more festive music. Yes, yes, yes. It's coming up to Halloween pretty soon. And as you know, the big event, Nightmare on Chicago Street, will coming just around the corner here. We're so excited. So I want to welcome to the stage here today. We've got 2 very special guests. We have Mike and Matt here on the stage with us today. How are you both doing?
Good. How are you, Matt?
Doing very well, thank you. I was very excited to play that Halloween music. I love Halloween. It's my favorite. I'm just a huge fan. And of course, big fan of Nightmare on Chicago Street as well, too. So if you both want to introduce yourself to the folks out there tuning in live here, whether if you're tuning in live through the radio or also through YouTube, just give a little introduction and your relationship with Nightmare on Chicago Street, too.
Go for it, man.
So I'm Matt Nossid. I run a home haunt in the Elgin area. It's actually in Gilbert, Illinois. It's called Greenbrier Cemetery. And I co-host a podcast with Mike here, the Voodoo Podcast. And that is who I am.
Yeah, well said. I have a little bit longer of an intro because now the first time I was on this show, Out to Lunch, I was just a guest talking about Halloween stuff in the middle of Summerween, kind of goofy.
Yeah.
But that was when we met and you told me you were a big haunt fan. I actually sat down with Sonar last time, but now, as of now, I am also a host of a show on this very radio station. On Saturdays, you can tune in 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. to On the Rise, where we talk all semi-pro sports teams throughout the Chicagoland area. But I'm back here to talk on Friday the 13th about our haunt stuff.
I didn't even realize it was Friday the 13th.
That was why Sonar was like, oh yeah, come back in. And then he told me that you took over Out to Lunch, and he was like, yeah, I think Matt will still want you. And I was like, you know what? I met Matt the last time, and I know he's a big haunt fan, so he will want us back on to talk this stuff.
Hey, this worked out too. I wore kind of interesting kind of almost like, I don't know, Beetlejuice style of shirt today.
Yeah.
You know, kind of that Tim Burton-y feel. So it all came together here. Friday the 13th.
Have you seen the new one yet?
No, I just watched the original a couple days ago, so it's fresh in my mind. So I want to go this weekend and see the new one.
I have to do both. Have you seen the new one?
I have not seen the new one, but I'm chomping at the bit to get at it because it looks pretty cool. I can't believe, Michael Keaton came back for everything. I'm really excited to watch it, so it's on my list.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Same with Winona Ryder and Catherine O'Hara. Yeah. So a lot of great cast there as well, too. So tell us a little bit here about, of course, Nightmare on Chicago Street. It's so exciting. It's coming up October 19th. And it's going to be, it's always such a fun event to go to. It's really spine-chilling. It's a really big Halloween extravaganza. It really does transform downtown Elgin, too. So there's just a lot to prepare for it, too. There's a lot of things that go into it. Are you kind of familiar with the origins and the evolution of it, too?
You know what? I'm not. Last year was my first year getting a chance to see it. I had been told of being a Walking Dead fan and everything, of course, horror. And everybody was like, oh, you would love it. But as home haunters, we don't often get a chance to leave our front lawns. I played hooky from my own haunt for a little bit last year to come and enjoy the first couple hours of Nightmare on Chicago Street. But this year, Voodoo on Vassar will be taking a year off, so we'll get a chance to go out and see it. I know, Matt, you'll probably be at your haunt.
Yeah, so I'm gonna miss it this year, but I've seen pictures from the previous years, and we've actually tried to get in. We didn't realize how big of an event it was, and just outside looking in, we saw the set design and everything. It's a great event. It's huge, and it really truly takes over all the downtown area, the Chicago Street for sure. So it's really a sight to see.
Yeah, it's right out here, right? So, but I don't know the origins that you were talking about. How did this all start?
It started, it was like, I think the first one they did was 2010, and then it kind of just grew from there. It was during COVID, they didn't have it. So they had it in 2019, and then they had it, and then 2023, and it was almost 15,000 people that came in 2023. I believe it was 2017. I think it was 18,000 people. So it's a big event. A lot of people come. And they come from all over too, all different states as well. We get the very well known Sven Gulli who comes there too. Of course, like the different performances as well, and of course the costumes coming in costumes. I mean, there's just there's so many unique costumes. There's some fun, silly. Scary, sometimes even some sexy costumes out there too, of course. And it's just a great time. You're going to be able to see, of course, and experience great food vendors, and it's a lot of fun. So tell us about how you kind of got interested in the haunt side of things.
Well, I know last time I kind of briefly went over it with Sonar. As a kid, my dad took me around to all the South Side houses, and I kind of got the itch then of seeing. That was just the tradition, we go around, see all the decorations and stuff. And I was always too scared to go through haunted houses and then, grow up a little bit. And next thing you know, you're kind of running one, especially out of your house. So that was me. But Matt, I actually don't even know yours. What was your start?
So my start was also with my dad. So it kind of runs.
Oh, wait, I do know this. Yes.
Yeah. So my dad had a Halloween display when I was little. It all started when he worked actually for a car top carrier company, and they produced a plastic coffin for the less fortunate. And he brought this coffin home in the back of a minivan, and that was our first prop in our yard. From there, it went to tombstones, to a mausoleum, to everything else under the sun, and we were the Halloween house in the neighborhood. Along with Mike, we used to visit. I had several friends that would do a similar display, and that's kind of how I got into it. So just through family, friends, the neighborhood, bringing the community together, but it all started when I was probably about 5. So I've been doing this a little while now, and now I have my own home haunt, which is great.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your own home haunt. You said it's in Gilbert's?
Yeah, so it's Greenbrier Cemetery. It's in Gilbert's. It's off of Big Timber and Tyrell, right across the street from Burn Ridge Forest Preserve. And what's kind of unique about us is we do a very, oh wow, you have it up here. We do a very unique display where it's not a full walkthrough, but you can still walk through part of it. It's all outdoor. We allow pets, and we have bonfires on the weekends. We have live actors. We are not unique in as it sits now, as there are many people that do this on our current list of Chicago haunt builders, which you'll hear about later. But it is my love project. I love Halloween so much, and I work on it all year round. I try to create as much as possible from scratch, but we also buy too. So it's a great time.
You had that major project last year of creating the Dragula. That was pretty much an exact replica, I'd say, of what you see in the old Munsters TV show. And it came out phenomenal. You have it on an actuator, so it actually does a wheelie, and it has the sound effects and the fogger underneath. So that was impressive. That took you a long time, right? Yeah,
that took months to build. That was a full-size coffin car, full-size drag tires, front wheelie, wheelie bars in the back. It has organ headers, just as the car in the Munsters does, and it goes up and down. It's actuated. We have the sound, fog shoots out of it. It's pretty interactive. It took me at least 2 months to build that one last year. So that was our big project last year.
Yeah, so it takes a lot of time and energy to do this too. Would you say, is there some like a particular animatronic that seems to be like the biggest hit? Like, is there one that you're like, oh, that's one that people usually look at the most, or like they seem the most interested in? I mean, I know that you have so many, but like, is there one like, or even like a personal favorite of yours that you're like, oh, I love putting this up every year?
For me, it's whatever's the newest one. So for last year was definitely the coffin, because you put your time, blood and sweat and tears into it. But every year, it kind of changes. This year, we're switching from linear actuators and electric motors over to pneumatics. So that's air-powered, faster, scarier items, and that's going to be the latest and greatest this year for Greenbrier Cemetery. Now, speaking for everybody else, I know on the market, the 12-footers are kind of unmatched. They're not an animatronic per se, but people are animating them in our group, the Chicago Haunt Builders, as well as other people. So
yeah, and talking about the Chicago Haunt Builders, when you bring up an animatronic that everybody has, the nice thing about this Chicago Haunt Builders group is everybody gets together and they do group builds. So everybody will build the same prop so that everybody has it on their lawn, and they understand how to use the different motors and use the different, like the majority of it is wiper motors or simple things. It doesn't have to be super complicated, and especially because you're going to be running it on your front lawn. But then everybody has their own creative touch to it. So everybody's decorating that skeleton that you're making lunge back and forth a little differently to fit their theme, or putting it in a different spot of their yard. So as a fan, not just a haunter myself, as a fan that goes around and sees all the other different houses, it's nice to see everybody have that same prop, and it becomes like your favorite like Chicago haunt builder prop. But at the same time, it's different everywhere you go, so you're not just seeing the same thing too, which is nice. I like the creativity of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of creativity that goes into it. You know, you gotta put your mind to it, and again, if you're passionate about what you do, it doesn't really feel like work.
Yeah.
So that's very important too. So yeah, I know that you were looking at this here too, which we have.
I am excited.
Yeah. So this is, and I've announced this before here too. This is Tales from What Remains. So what this is it's a nice little, I guess you could say it's like I wouldn't say it's like a flyer, but what it is actually it's one of the 6 sinister stories. And what it is you can go around downtown Elgin and you can find these. Now, when you find all 6, what happens is you can put them all together and it'll make the poster for the theme. So I think that this is really cool. They even have a QR code on the back, and it's got like a little bit of a kind of a little like a jingle here, 6 sinister stories that will fix your darkest nightmares in this mix. So it's pretty cool. I think a total of 3 out of the 6.
Oh, all right.
So it's cool. So for people watching, look in the downtown Elgin area to find it here. We've got a couple left in Redemption Center, which will be open on Saturdays, because we've actually had quite a few people take these already. So it is definitely a lot of fun. Save the date, save the city for the 19th.
Sonar was telling us that he had met and connected with a lot of the people that are running Nightmare on Chicago Street and doing this. So I did know that this was a thing, but I haven't started. I'm behind. I got to go on my scavenger hunt and start collecting these, because that is such a neat idea. I will say, who else did a sort of scavenger hunt at Midwest Haunters Convention, which is the largest convention in Rosemont for haunters during the summer. It was Forsaken Hollow, which many people in this Elgin area know is now going to include what used to be Evil Intentions. So Evil Intentions, we kind of touched upon this with Sonar last time, and we also kind of touched upon Nightmare on Chicago Street, but I wanted to go deeper because there's just so much to learn and so much to know about what's coming up this year, including this Nightmare on Chicago stuff. But Evil Intentions is no longer in the old Elgin Casket Company. They are going to be in Maple Park, which is just outside of DeKalb, and it's a huge, did they say 80?
That was one of the questions we should know.
Yeah, I should know the square footage. But it's a massive property that used to be an old racetrack for horses. And on the racetrack itself, they're going to have Monster Purge, which used to be in St. Charles, which is you get on this jacked up monster truck and you have a paintball gun and you get to shoot zombies. And then they're going to have live entertainment, like live bands and stuff. They'll have restaurant, like not quite like full-on restaurants, but like, food and drinks and bars. And also you have a haunted corn maze, and then Evil Intentions will be right there on the property. Within the next 5 to 10 years, I guess it's an extended plan, they'll also be opening like a haunted Airbnb. And then,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and that'll be sponsored by Ghoulish Mortals, the store out in St. Charles.
I love that store.
And they'll also be sponsoring what they're calling Ghoulish Golf, which will be like a little mini golf thing there.
That's cool.
And a couple other things, a pumpkin patch. So we're excited. They just released that tickets for Evil Intentions are on sale now today. I believe their first date is October 4th, but I want to say Forsaken Hollow as a property itself is opening on September 27th. So some of the other amenities might be open beforehand, but I'm excited for that one. And of course, Nightmare on Chicago Street. I think Elgin over here does a really nice job, or just the Fox Valley area with both of those attractions is going to be a haunt destination this year. And that's what they're already calling Forsaken Hollow, is a haunt destination. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool. So yeah, Evil Intentions is another one too. That's they've got a lot of, and I would also say this too with Nightmare on Chicago Street is a lot of, there's a lot of really awesome makeup and costumes. And that's also fun too, to like look behind the scenes and how they get all prepared and ready. I've watched actually before. I don't know if you're familiar with the YouTubers Grim Life Collective.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. So I like watching their videos where they tour haunted houses and they talk about they go to graveyards and things like that too. So I always like watching their videos and kind of seeing the haunted houses too. The thing is I So I do like haunts, but it's more so of like, I couldn't do it alone.
Oh no, yeah.
Like I would have to go with someone because I love creepy stuff. I love horror movies, but when it comes to haunts, I'm like I have to go with like maybe a couple people, like probably 2 more or 3 or 4 more people, like as a group. Because like going alone, I'm like I don't know. Even like if it's a goofy haunted house, I don't know. I think it's just more because you're there versus like you're watching something on a screen. So that's kind of the thing there too, but.
I've done a couple alone like a psychopath, and yeah, it's never a good time. No, I enjoy it, but that makes it sound like I got no friends. But just circumstances arose where I was going through solo, and I wanted to see it. But definitely more fun when you have a group.
Yeah.
So there is one more in Elgin, right off of Big Timber Road up the block from you, but I know we're probably getting ready to take a break here, so I will.
Oh no, we still have. We've got about like 5 minutes, and then we go to the bottom of the hour news.
Oh, perfect.
We'll continue on.
I'm jumping ahead here, but yeah, no, it is. I have it here. Dark Hollow's Haunted Hayride. It's where they used to have. I don't know what it was called.
So it's run by the Boy Scouts of America. It's the Three Fires or something like that. I forget the name.
Three Fires Council.
Fires Council. Yes. So it's run by them, and you can find more information at Pumpkin Fest, Big Timber Pumpkin Fest, I believe is what they're calling it.
Yeah.
And that's right across the street.
Right across the street from my property. So. If you're going to visit there, you can visit us or vice versa.
And as you see there, the dates of operation are on weekends, and that's typically when Matt has his actors out at his haunt. So, I mean, for your younger kids, of course, there is a line, and we toe that line, and we don't try to ruin anybody's holiday. But I'm sure, if you're going to go to this haunted hayride, you're definitely going to be up for Greenbrier Cemetery right across the street.
Yeah, it looks creepy, like in a good way.
That's awesome. I will say I was displeased. I think we went in 2020 when it was one of those drive-through car haunts to separate everybody from COVID and keep everybody still in their own cars. And I was kind of disappointed with how they ran it. Not to criticize anybody, but the only time I will criticize is when it comes down to a matter of safety. And you should have had that, is it Tyrell?
Yep.
Is that other road? Yes. They should have had the line only going down Tyrell. Instead, it was down Tyrell and coming from both sides of Big Timber Road. So you had a 2-lane Big Timber Road completely blocked off with people trying to drive their cars in, and it was just a bottleneck. You had people stopping on those train tracks, which I'm not sure. Are those still active train tracks?
Oh, yes. I hear them every night.
So those are active train tracks that people were stopping on. And then while we were in line one of those nights and eventually did not get in, there was an ambulance that had to try to get through the main road. I'm hoping that this will be run a lot better. And I'm sure they got better throughout the years. We went, like I said, 2020. I haven't been back since, so I'm not the most up-to-date critic here. But hopefully with this new hayride, it'll be run a little bit smoother. Less of a traffic jam.
Yeah, I actually didn't even think about that with the Terrell and Big Timber, and then the train tracks over there too, because then you get people coming in from both sides, and it's a traffic jam. And then people who aren't going there are trying to get through, and because there's a neighborhood right near there too.
My neighborhood.
Yep. Your neighborhood. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's I'm hoping that like you said, that's the case that they will.
I think they've improved their parking quite a bit. Also, it's not a car-driven event, so you'll be able to park in their lots, get out. It might take away from some of that traffic. They don't have to space out cars. They can park them. You go through the attraction, and then you get out of there and leave and open up a spot for somebody else. So I think it should be much, much better, much smoother, but only time will tell. But I'm excited. They're super close to us, so maybe we'll jump on a hayride one of these nights after we run our stuff. So,
yeah, there you go. I mean, there's so many cool different haunts in the area too, and I would say too. So they do say here, was it ages 12 and up? So recommended for ages 12 and up. So that's good too, because sometimes you might go to like a haunt and you don't really know the age of that too. And then there was another thing that I also wanted to mention here too, which we'll do in just a bit because we're going to take it. We've got like a minute left, and then we'll continue on until the 12 o'clock hour because there's a lot to talk about. Of course, when it comes to the haunts too. So yeah, I am definitely looking forward to Nightmare on Chicago Street. We're hoping WRMN, of course, we're going to participate. We're going to probably maybe have a table up. What I think would be really cool too is I'm hoping getting the community center open. Maybe we could decorate it a little bit because I have a lot of creepy old pictures of my ancestors in my room. I'm a big family history guy. And I have like all old pictures hanging in my room. They're all deceased and they're all looking serious and not smiling and wearing gothic clothing and stuff. So it's creepy, but in a cool way. So I'm like, oh, maybe I could bring some in and like creep people out. I don't know.
That would be very cool. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So my room is like, I have like a green light in my room. So like it's like an old Victorian light, but I put a green light bulb in there, and I have that. It kind of gives it like a Beetlejuice kind of green light.
There you go.
I don't know, just some cool stuff like that. So my room almost looks like it's Halloween all the time. So, so there you go. All right, folks. So this is bringing it to the top of the hour bottom of the hour news. And then, of course, messages from our sponsors. Again, you're listening to WRMN AM 1410, Voice of the Valley, Talk the Town. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can comment live on youtube.com at WRMN Radio. If you want to hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell, like the video. If you'd like to do that to keep up to date in the loop with what's happening here in the Fox River Valley and with WRMN. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. And we'll be back with more Out to Lunch with WRMN here in just a bit.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Sky Rizzy. La Fiesta de Elgin getting underway today with the Elgin Market expansion at the Riverside Drive Promenade starting from 3 to 7 p.m. The car meet will be at the City Hall parking lot at 100 Douglas Avenue from 5 to 8 p.m. And Grito and cultural performances at the Civic Center Plaza, 125 North Grove Avenue from 6 to 8 p.m. tonight. The Elgin Police Department yesterday celebrating National Policewoman Day, paying tribute to the 46 women who are sworn law enforcement officers in the city of Elgin at this time. The Kane County Sheriff's Office set to honor the memory of K9 Hudson with a dedicated memorial today. The ceremony, scheduled for 10 a.m. today at the Sheriff's Office, pays tribute to the valiant Dutch Shepherd who was fatally shot in a law enforcement operation in Geneva last year. K9 Hudson had been a crucial part of the Kane County team for nearly 3 years, primarily assisting with narcotics detection. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super-rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN. The Bears visit Houston on Sunday. At practice Thursday, wide receivers Rome Odunze and Keenan Allen remained out. The Bears beat the Titans 24-17 to open the season, while the Texans beat the Colts 29-27. Illinois football plays host to Central Michigan tomorrow. The 2-0 start, the best in head coach Brett Bielema's 4 seasons. Northwestern home tomorrow against Eastern Illinois. Both teams come in with 1-1 records. Off day for the Cubs on Thursday. Chicago's 5 games out of a wild card in the National League tonight. They begin a series at Colorado, 7-5. Javier Assad scheduled to start. The White Sox were off Thursday. They host Oakland tonight, 6-11. Garrett Crochet, the starter. The Sox have 15 games to go and have 114 losses. The Major League record, 120, set by the 1962 Mets.
Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive.
I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Joe Fallon's bedroom mini fridge. Sure, this pint-sized chiller's max capacity is 3 soda cans, but what it lacks in stature, it makes up in cooling strength. Each beverage a perfect 37 degrees every time. And the 2 feet Joe walks to get a drink, priceless. That's why his mini fridge is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
All right, welcome back, folks, to Out to Lunch with WRMN AM 1410, Voice of the Valley, Talk of the Town. We're going to continue on talking about some spooky stuff. Yes, 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 absolutely. Thank you again, Mike and Matt, for joining us in the studio today. We've been talking quite a bit here, and actually, we're going to pretty much go through until, I would say, like 12:30.
Yeah.
Because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. And I'm very excited about it because as someone who loves Halloween and all the creepy stuff, we're going to hop right into it. Get into the spooks. Absolutely. So there's another haunt that's coming up here, too. Did you want to talk about that?
Yes.
There's a couple other, but
well, which one were we going to lead into first?
It was
we can start with Chicago Haunt Builders in the list that's coming out.
Yeah.
Okay.
The nice thing is I just recorded for our Voodoo podcast that Matt and I run an episode. It's not out yet, but we recorded the interview last night with 3 Chicago Haunt Builders that are the 3 in charge of creating the list every year. And if you're not familiar with the list, it is a compiled, it's basically a spreadsheet at this point of all of the listed Chicago Haunt Builders houses. And you won't find the list out yet. It's going to be coming out towards the end of September. But I got a chance to speak with Jim Slanker, Amanda Stolarski, and April from the Cozy Cauldron. And we talked about what it takes to build this list. Because it started out in 2014, and there were maybe 10 to 20 houses on there. Mm-hmm. And now there are probably over 350 to 400 submissions, I think is what they were saying. They're at 2.25 right now, I think. And, of course, everybody in the haunt world does their homework late. So, if it's due at 11:59 p.m. on September 29th, they're submitting at midnight. So that list will come out, and you will get to start planning your routes for Halloween. I encourage you to do so. Check out the list. Check out Haunted Illinois in the meantime. Go see some of the stuff that's already open. It's Friday the 13th, and my group, we're already headed out to Niles, Michigan for the Niles Scream Park. That is the Haunters Against Hate Haunt Takeover. It's for a good cause, and you will see haunt actors from around the country, mostly the Midwest, that will be taking part in guest acting there. It's a complete nonprofit. All of their funds they donate to local, police and Boy Scouts and you name it, good causes. But Niles Scream Park, it is massive. It's like 3 haunted houses in one, plus a Field of Screams, plus a woods walk, plus a hooded adventure, which I think is for the more extreme, where I think they put a blindfold on you. And yeah, I signed up for that because, like I said, I'm crazy. But it should be so much fun. I'm excited to get out there. And our buddy Japes is running a lot of the acting, managing for it. And he you name it, Japes is behind something. So, you talk about, maybe going to other haunts. it's probably Japes helping out with their acting crew running things. He's everywhere in the industry, and he also does the Lost Souls bus tour. If you guys look into that one, I know I'm making you search up so many links now. I love it, and I'm jumping from one to the other. But Japes, that's what Japes does. He jumps from one to the other. He does a whole heck of a lot, and his buddy Terry helps with him. So they are a great cause. But this Haunters takeover at Niles Scream Park is going to be what we are on tonight. I'm super excited. But yes, the list. It takes them forever to make. It takes a lot of time and effort to get all that information accurate and correct. But when you do, it's the best houses that you could see around. Everybody does a great job. And I don't know if you had anything to add to that.
Yeah, so the list itself is done, as Mike said, very, very well. There's descriptions. Most of them have pictures, so you kind of know what you're getting into. And they even do it by region now, which is...
And there's a Google map for it, too.
There's a Google map. So it makes it very, very easy to kind of plan out a route so you can see the most bang for your buck. There are hundreds of haunts. There's probably some right next door.
Look at those numbers.
Including one on the list that I wanted to cover is right here in Elgin. Lifeless Lane at 1910 Lord Lane.
That's our buddy Doug.
That's our buddy Doug, and he does a great job. We were talking to him last night, and he is just pumped for this season and ready to go. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot to see. He's opening up October 5th right here in Elgin. So add him to your list, but there are
Here's Greenbrier.
Yep, that's me right there.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool that it links right to there.
Yep. They've done
Look at how professional.
They have done a great job with this list
really cool.
and getting everybody together. This brings the community together, and there's so many hits on these lists. It draws the people out to our haunts to show off all of our hard work. But also, it's something to do. Most, if not all, of these haunts are free. And you get to go with your family and have a great time. Get scared a little bit. There's less scary ones. There's more scary ones, and you can find that all in the description. So if you're looking to have a fun Friday, Saturday, or even during the week, check out some of the haunts in your local neighborhood or plan a trip to a little bit further out.
Yeah, and I like what you said there about, if you have littler ones and you're not ready for some of these bigger haunted houses or these bigger scares, and we talked about that Big Timber Road one is 12 and up. Maybe you got ones that are a little bit younger that aren't quite ready for that stuff. This is a great list to go and see. Plus, everything is free on this list. You go to these houses, it's just a yard display. And I shouldn't say it like that. It's not just a yard display, but, it's not a commercial haunt that's going to make you pay an arm and a leg and get you in there. Go and plan your routes. And the haunt builders are... I would say we are probably, to pat ourselves on the back. I know it's not us that actually do all this listing and stuff, but we are the best group. And we don't say that as like a brag, but we say that as a pride thing because everybody in this group is just so inviting, welcoming, and you can plan a literal route throughout the Chicagoland to go and enjoy the holiday now. Look at how many numbers are on that map. You can see everything.
Hundreds.
There's a lot.
There are hundreds, and they are everywhere. They are spread from north, south, east, west. They are all over. Some even included
like 158 here.
Right on the border of Indiana. There's
one in Davenport that Jim was talking about.
Champaign. I mean, wherever you go, there's a Chicago haunt builder, and they're doing it right. And they're on this list. Everybody should check this list out. Because there's a lot of hard work that goes into it, not only on the list part, but obviously the displays themselves. And it's free. It's a great time to get out with your kids, with your family, with your friends, check out some of these things, and have a great Halloween season.
Yeah, one of the things that Jim was talking about, there's Ghoulish Mortals.
Love this store.
One of the things that they're part of our group too, I guess. I did know that, but I didn't know that. Jim was talking about how many clicks this map gets. The map alone, I believe, got over 1 million clicks last year.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, if you are... we talked about the fan perspective. If you're going around to enjoy your holiday and see all this stuff, that's one thing. But if you have your own home haunt, join the Chicago Haunt Builders. It's easy to join. Just a couple questions you got to answer to join the Facebook group, and they're, pretty simple questions. Where do you live? Make sure you're local, and you see what local means. I mean, you can be in, Iowa or Indiana or Wisconsin, and you're still local to us. We're pretty inclusive. We just don't want, something like California, because then nobody can come see you. You're not our target audience. But if you have a home haunt, if you decorate, even if you have one pumpkin out on the front lawn, and you're looking to build towards having a much bigger haunt, join the group, get yourself on the list. You'll get a lot more foot traffic. Maybe you have king-size candy bars that you're looking to give out. And I know I'm looking for that this year. With us taking a year off, I want to collect all the candy I can.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, and there's some cool, interesting names here, too, that I'm looking at also on the map. I mean, here's one, too, in Schaumburg. Stephen King's Midwest Maine. Yeah. So there's one. I mean, there's just tons that you can find. Again, this was, I think, so the list hasn't been updated, though, right?
Well, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if these plot points are updated. Majority of them are going to be running again anyways, but the list for 2024 is not going to be out until the end of September. So you'll be able to find that on this website by the end of September.
Very cool.
And I'm sure everybody will be reposting it. If you go to any of these haunts, they should have either a QR code or an actual printed copy of the list. But I don't know if people are doing as many printed copies, because the list has become 14 pages at this point, so there's a lot of printing.
Yeah, it's a binder at this point. So the QR codes are probably going to be everybody's friends this year. You can scan those with your phones, pops up the list, and then you can go ahead and keep going from there. So everybody on this list is participating in Chicago Haunt Builders. And if you wanted to join, it's the best way, it's the best resource to, if you had any questions, or if you're building something, if you're trying to fix something, you can get the answer on Chicago Haunt Builders. There's somebody out there that knows more than you. Even on the Voodoo podcast, I have a segment that's called Haunter's Hack. And I'm not an extreme pro like everybody else on the list. There are some people that know a lot more than I do, than we do. And it really is a great group to find the answers that you're looking for. So if you're getting stumped on anything or would like to build anything, there's some great examples. We do make and takes. It's really a great group to be in if you're into Halloween at all.
Also, something I noticed here too, I'll show it up the screen for people to see it. They also do offer a scare factor rating for these, which I think is pretty cool. So if you're looking for, one where it's like, I want something a little bit less scary, then you can check out that rating. You can also rate it yourself as well. So, I mean, even if you go, let's see, what's this? Chainsaw Manor, closer to, that's in Deerfield. I don't know if that's just how, I think it's just a select rating here too.
You can. I think you can put in your own ratings and be a reviewer if you've been there. But the list itself will have ratings that are provided by the home haunt, so they can kind of give you an idea from the home haunters themselves. What they consider themselves as. The higher the blood rating or the star rating is, the scarier, and of course the lower is maybe more so for the younger kids or people who just want to go out and enjoy and not be scared. But you brought up Voodoo Podcast, and I like that transition, because that is another place where we will be posting the link to the list once we get it. But yeah, you mentioned your Haunter's Hack, and I kind of touched upon it when I was here with Sonar last time. But Matt does a great job at Home Haunters segment. And what it does is, I will go out and collect the interviews from all the people we know in the haunt industry for our Voodoo podcast, whether that is professional haunters, meaning owners of haunted houses, or, actors. And then even on the home haunter side of things, you'll get to meet some of these Chicago haunt builders through the interviews that we do. And some of them dabble with both. I know we at Voodoo, we kind of dabble with both sides. But then after those interviews, we transition into that Haunter's Hack, and it's a nice oasis from maybe the interviews, for some people run a little long, or maybe, okay, I've listened to the interview, now I want some change in the content. Yep. Matt's a nice breath of fresh air to do the Haunter's Hack, and the tips that we've been coming up with that mostly you've started with, and you just recently started asking me like, hey, what kind of tips can we do? And I'm kind of stumped because you've covered everything. You've done a great job.
We've done basic stuff. The Haunter's Hack segment, I think, is kind of forever changing, and we'll get more in depth. Maybe we'll bring on some subject matter experts or something to go a little bit more in depth. We've covered most of, I would say, what are the basics, or just more reminders, especially to either new haunters. These are basic tools that they can be successful with, or just reminders for those experienced folks out there. We did one on safety. Was last month. We've done basics of some lighting, some other techniques and things to do. I actually had one for today. If we'd want to.
Yeah, what you got for us?
So the Haunter's Hack for today.
First Haunter's Hack for WRMN.
That's right. So this one is, I just want to say to everybody out there to get out there and decorate for the Halloween season. Make sure that you spread the Halloween cheer, right? Bring your community together. Even if it's small, large, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to do so. Anything laying around can be a Halloween prop, right? Make sure that you keep your house lit for those trick-or-treaters, and the people will come. So I just want to make sure that everybody kind of participates in the Halloween season as much as possible. I would love for the city of Elgin and other cities around listening to look like you're out of a movie. Everybody has pumpkins and skeletons, and you're picking up leaves in the front yard. There's lights, there's pop-up skeletons and things like that. That's what I would love to see throughout everybody's house. So that's my Haunter's Hack. Just get out there and decorate. Whatever that means to you, whether you buy, you build, just get out there and decorate. Explore everything for the season and have a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. You can even dress up too and be a character. We have in our neighborhood, I live on the west side of Elgin, Century Oaks West, and there's a house where they will have flashing lights and the creepy sounds and some animatronics. But the home owner, the guy dresses up as Frankenstein.
Nice.
And so he does that, and then his wife dresses up as a mummy and will walk around. So kind of doing that too is also fun. But yeah, absolutely, decorating is also great too. How can people find more information about the Haunter's Hack?
So Haunter's Hack is a segment on Voodoo Podcast, and Mike probably has more information about the contact.
So yeah, you can contact me. I do have business cards. I don't know if I'm going to give away all of my information over the air, but you can contact me through Instagram. We have Voodoo on Vassar is one of our Instagrams, but also my own personal Instagram, Mike Napolitano. That's MIKE_NAPOLETANO. Shoot me a DM if you want more information. But if you just want to listen to the podcast and be a fan of ours, we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So you can find us on both. The Instagram is more so for our yeah, that's me getting stabbed there. It's all fake, I promise. But it's more so just for our home haunt, which is taking a year off, like I mentioned this year. But we will post podcast clips on there. You can find the links. What I really love about what Matt said for his Haunter's Hack today is it seems like something that is so much of a given, so basic, so general that to decorate. But I feel like, even before COVID and now especially after COVID, you see so many houses that are just dark and nobody does anything. Nobody decorates because I think people think, I'm just going to have to take it down after. Well, yeah, of course you are. But part of that fun with the holiday spirit is setting up in the first place, maybe with your family, or maybe just to do it so that you're a part of your community and, you get more trick-or-treaters, or you open up and show some of your creativity to your neighbors. So even if you're not, if you don't think you're Chicago haunt builder level, which that's not a thing, like everybody's at any kind of level in that group. You have your really well decorated houses, and then you have your ones that are just starting out, and we appreciate those just as much as we appreciate the big ones, because it helps us grow. And it helps the podcast grow too, because that's more people that I can get on, more minds, more creativity. But yeah, just decorate. Even if you don't want to put yourself on a list, just throw a couple pumpkins out there, carve something with your family, I guess. Matt also has extra family this year. Congratulations. You just added little Lincoln to the mix.
Yep.
Aww.
Yep. So we had Lincoln. He is now 4 months, and he is hopefully going to help me out in the front yard this year because I need a whole lot of help. So we're going to throw him out
Put
there.
him to work.
But he keeps sleeping on the job. I just don't understand. But yeah, it's been great. It's been great. Mike and his crew made us some onesies, so he'll be out there sporting that, and it's going to be different. This is my first, so this is going to be my first year haunting with a little guy. So we're going to make the best out of it, and we plan on kicking off our season hopefully this weekend. Maybe hitting a pumpkin patch a little early, start decorating a little bit earlier because it's going to take me a little bit longer. But that's okay. That's all part of it. And it gives us extra time for the spooky season.
Oh, yeah.
I can't take any credit for the designs. That was our merch lady, Emma. She does our shirts and then also our hats, which I probably should have worn this way so you could see our logo. But I know she was talking about becoming your merch lady, leaving us because we work her too hard. But then again, hey, you've got not even a 1-year-old that child labor laws is going to come after you for that.
It's all right. We'll give them allowance. They'll be all right.
Oh, gosh. So I have to ask here, too, because we're going through a lot of awesome information here. So when it comes to, of course, creepy stuff and things like that, too, do you ever, want to just go to, a cute pumpkin farm ever? Or are you always into, the creepy stuff, too?
Well, I know you said that, you're probably going to do that because you got a little one now. But, I enjoy doing that kind of stuff, too. I mean, I don't think it's fully haunt season and fully fall if you haven't had an apple cider donut.
Yeah.
I'm not so much into the pumpkin spice stuff, mostly because I'm not exactly a coffee drinker. But
okay,
I'll leave the pumpkin spice stuff for the ladies mostly that enjoy it. That they're Starbucks or whoever is a coffee drinker.
And
I think
me too.
You too, yeah.
Yeah.
For myself, it's apple cider donuts all the way, and pumpkin patches are fun. I even enjoy, even though they're a little bit kiddish, I enjoy the haunted houses that those put on. I grew up going to Bankston's, which is in Homer Glen, but there's Gobert's up here, both Gobert's, the one in Pingree Grove and Barrington, and they put on haunted houses. I know Sunny Acres does a really nice, I think it's a haunted hayride, so it's not just a haunted house, and I've heard some really nice reviews about that one as well. I haven't made it out there, but yeah, I try to hit that. I have a spreadsheet which is different from Chicago Haunt Builders list. What I do is I compile everything that's on Haunted Illinois, Kid List, Patch. There's a couple different other lists of decorated houses, as well as the Chicago Haunt Builders list and all the professional haunts. And I have it sectioned: home haunts, haunted houses, and then hayrides, pumpkin patches, and everything else that's going on. So festivals, there's pop-ups, or certain bars will convert to a Halloween themed entertainment section there, so that my group can maximize our enjoyment. So I have it all on there. That one you won't be able to find. That one I'm not necessarily sharing, but it's just for myself so that we can keep it all organized.
Yeah. Do you have a drink that you like to drink during Halloween that's like a Halloween themed drink or anything like that?
Nothing that I know of. I know a couple of different professional haunted houses. If you've been to a haunted house recently, you'll know that they're trying to make them less of just let's go to the haunted house, get out, and then go somewhere else, to more of a full-on experience. So we talked about Forsaken Hollow. Another one that I think does a really good job, and we were going to get into, is Hell's Gate, is down in Lockport. Hell's Gate Haunted House is, in my opinion, the best haunted house, although now, like we talked about, Forsaken Hollow opening up, they have some competition. But Hell's Gate is a haunted house in which you have to park in a parking lot in downtown Lockport and take a bus into the middle of the woods. And the whole first 15 to 20 minutes of the haunt is a haunted woods walk. And then so many people that I go through, they're like, oh, wow, that wasn't as bad as I thought. And I look at them and I go, yeah, you see that big house over there? Yeah, we have another 40 minutes to go. You thought it was over because the chainsaws came at you. But then we're going to go walk up into that house that looks like it's straight out of the scary movies. Yeah. And then after you're done, even then, they have what they're calling a midway. And a lot of haunts have a midway, which is, I guess, I don't actually know where this term originated, but I guess it's a midway point from the haunt and then you going back to your car and leaving right away. Okay. But They have games that you can play, food trucks, different kind of drinks. My apple cider donuts are there, and a bunch of other stuff that just, they keep you there, kind of.
Yeah.
Of course, they spit you out into a gift shop like every Disney ride ever.
Yeah.
And, they want you to buy the merch, but it's all in one section, so it can be more of a whole night out. So I don't know if there's necessarily a drink or an item on the menu that I would go to and order, but definitely hang out in the Midway for a little bit at a bunch of these haunts. I'm trying to think of some other haunts that have that. I know Forsaken Howl will probably have that now.
Yeah, I think a lot of them at least spit you out, whether that be a food truck or something like that. It just depends what kind of licensing they have as well.
Yeah.
What they're going to be able to do. But the Midway is, I would say, within the last 5 years or so, is kind of, everybody wants to be a destination. Everybody wants to hold your attention. Everybody wants to have you stick around and party with them.
We got to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a bit. Stay tuned.
Oakcrest Residence is marking 120 years of continuous service for older adults, a private, non-for-profit community organization offering cutting-edge solutions for seniors with emphasis on personal choice and innovative programs. Located at 204 South State Street, you'll find short-term and permanent living along with daily options. This building is worth a visit. Blended with style and surrounded with historic significance. Make sure to ask to see the Cellar Pub, a resource available for private group rental. Really, this place has it all. During this 120th anniversary celebration year, the community is invited to join in for free lunches and programs. For more information, visit oakcrestatrium.org. That's oakcrestatrium.org.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 12 o'clock.
With your 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Curdan. Brought to you by the U.S. Postal Service. The Elgin Police Department yesterday celebrating National Policewoman Day, paying tribute to the 46 women who are sworn law enforcement officers in the city of Elgin at this time. The Kane County Sheriff's Office set down into memory of K9 Hudson with a dedicated memorial today. The ceremony, scheduled for 10 a.m. today at the Sheriff's Office, pays tribute to the valiant Dutch Shepherd who was fatally shot in a law enforcement operation in Geneva last year. K9 Hudson had been a crucial part of the Kane County team for nearly 3 years, primarily assisting with narcotics detection. La Fiesta de Elgin getting underway today with the Elgin Market expansion at the Riverside Drive Promenade, starting from 3 to 7 p.m. The car meet will be at the City Hall parking lot at 100 Douglas Avenue from 5 to 8 p.m. and Grito and cultural performances at the Civic Center Plaza, 125 North Grove Avenue from 6 to 8 p.m. tonight. With your 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Curdan.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hit the open road and experience the fresh air of Wisconsin at the Grand Stay Hotel and Suites in Mount Horeb. This award-winning hotel is just outside Madison. Mount Horeb is known as the troll capital of the world. Families can go on a troll hunt through the historic downtown or check out Cave of the Mounds just minutes down the road. The Grand Stay offers a beautiful pool and a hot tub with year-round fun. Visit grandstaymountHoreb.com today to schedule your visit.
Renata's Old Salem Cafe is now Renata's German restaurant with old family recipes for delicious Bavarian dinners. Renata's is also known for breakfast and lunch. Renata's German restaurant has fresh baked German pastries. For a hearty breakfast, try Renata's for pancakes, skillets, and more. They've also set the standard for catering excellence. Try Renata's German restaurant off Irving Park, west of Wise Road in Hanover Park. Visit renatasgermanrestaurant.com.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN. Illinois football plays host to Central Michigan tomorrow. The 2-0 start, the best in head coach Brett Bielema's 4 seasons. Northwestern home tomorrow against Eastern Illinois. Both teams come in with 1-1 records. Off day for the Cubs on Thursday. Chicago's 5 games out of a wild card in the National League tonight. They begin a series at Colorado. 7-5. Javier Assad scheduled to start. The White Sox were off Thursday. They host Oakland tonight. 6-11. Garrett Crochet, the starter. The Sox have 15 games to go and have 114 losses. The Major League record, 120, set by the 1962 Mets. The Bears visit Houston on Sunday. At practice Thursday, wide receivers Rome Odunze and Keenan Allen remained out. The Bears beat the Titans 24-17 to open the season. The Texans beat the Colts 29-27.
Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive.
I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting.
What makes a great pizza restaurant? The obvious answer, great pizza. A local favorite since 1983, Pizza Pub Wisconsin Dells has been serving up the best pizza in the Dells. Year after year after year. Not hungry for pizza? Try the homemade lasagna, chicken parmesan, burgers, salads, and an extensive kids menu. Or take a trip or two to the all-you-care-to-eat lunch buffet. Pizza Pub, walking distance to water parks and hotels in Wisconsin Dells. Visit the Milwaukee County Zoo this summer to enjoy so many species of fun. Home to more than 2,200 animals, representing over 340 different species. The zoo educates, entertains, and inspires. Stomp back in time with the zoo's summer exhibit, Dinosaur Discovery, sponsored by Sendix Food Market. You'll be astounded by the gigantic and scientifically accurate animatronic displays. Touch, feel, and learn about the role of predators in the ecosystem. Running through October 5th. Visit milwaukeezoo.org.
All right, welcome back, folks, to Out to Lunch with WRMN, broadcasting live here from downtown Elgin. Yes. We're getting into the Halloween spirit, very much so. I mean, is it like for you guys? It's like Halloween all the time, right? Kind of, or is it?
I guess
you take
in
a break.
some
Do you ever
ways.
like take a break, or you know, or you just kind of?
I don't know about you. You're always building.
I'm always building, or I always I'm drawn to all the spooky stuff. So when I walk past somebody's storefront and they have something macabre, I want to go in there, or something visually that reminds me of Halloween. I'm interested in it, no matter what time of year it is. But I mean, I do like to still celebrate the other holidays. I make time for each one. But like for Christmas, I'll still get Halloween props, or you know, there's a little cross-pollination going on. But I give every holiday its due, but Halloween is always on the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do take a break. I've got the H's. I've got hockey and Halloween. So I switch over into sports gear after a while. My friends will deny it. They'll be like, oh, you're Halloween all year round. But, I mean, it's really just the podcast. And even in those, like, February, March, April, I don't want to say it's hard to do the podcast, but it's hard to really get in the feel of things. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to get on people that I know will still bring that energy.
Yeah.
But, not dive into the holiday itself. Mm-hmm. When I was on with Sonar, we kind of talked about how the haunt industry can kind of be separated from the Halloween holiday itself. Because now they even have, like you said, crossing over to Christmas, they have all these Christmas haunted houses or the year-round events and stuff like that, which I do enjoy, but it's never, you can't replicate that same feel that you can in the fall and actual Halloween. But no, I mean, yeah, we still love it. Still thinking in the back of your mind the whole year round.
Yeah.
This year, like I said, we're not doing ours. So instead of building a haunt, I worked on my character. Mm-hmm. And so I now have a little bit more developed character that I'll use to go act professionally at a couple different places. I think Disturbia, Greenbrier Cemetery, Hell's Gate Haunted House, Old Joliet Haunted Prison, and then Horror on Highland, which is another Chicago Haunt Builder home haunt walkthrough. So a couple different places. My character Rivets, if you've seen us at Voodoo on Vassar, I have a new outfit basically this whole year. I used to have that welder's mask, and underneath I can pull it up and have like a clown mask underneath. So you think I'm about to break character and show you who I really am, and really it's just another mask underneath. And then in this case, I've recreated a whole new mask, both masks really, and a couple new toys that I can carry around with me to scare people, and just a whole new outfit. I don't want to go too much into explaining it, but I will say I met this lady, sweet old lady, that was telling me at my day job that she used to live down in Lockport, not too far from where Hell's Gate and Old Joliet Haunted Prison are. And there used to be a CCC, which was the Civilian Conservation Corps camp. And what it was during World War II, they would have these camps that young single men that weren't drafted, they would go and they'd basically get set up with a job, and they would work these hours. So I kind of used that as a jumping off point to give my character a little bit of backstory as to why he looks like this welder and this worker, but he's still got that Halloween craziness to him, you know? So I've put in a lot of work, and I'm really excited to debut him at some of these haunts, even in our off season.
Yeah, that sounds like fun too, because it's you're getting into that character development, and that sounds like I mean a lot of fun. I mean anything really, when it comes to Halloween, it's like, I mean, there's just so much fun stuff that you can do. I got a comment. My dad texted me, asked him to share a part of his haunted list. I think we did that, right? Did we?
Yeah, we don't have a 2024 list right now. I have that spreadsheet that I have for myself. It's not super updated yet, but if you go to hauntedillinois.com, that's where I've pulled all my information. So you can find it there too, hauntedillinois.com. I don't know if you have any. Do you have any lists handy?
Well, I know that Patch is going to come out with one.
Yeah.
Kids List just started reaching out. Kids List is another one that haunters get added to in the area. We have Chicago Haunt Builders, and then there's Haunted Illinois. So those are pretty much the ones that I know. There are some others, like smaller ones that people do on the side, or even my town of Gilbert's, right here next to Partners, right next to Elgin. They come out with a list in your town as well, in our town. Listing all of our houses. Every year we had a small competition, started about 4 years ago, and that list is spread throughout the town. So there are places to find them. I would say, the big one, the main 5 are the ones we've listed, I think. Other than that, and most of them aren't out yet because nobody's really out there decorated. Actually, Greenbrier Cemetery is starting today. But not everybody is out there and decorated yet. So they need to get decorated, take some pictures, get added to these lists, and then that's when it comes out. Normally October 1st, through the first week, even through, I would say, the 1st through the 15th of October is really when these lists come out.
Mm-hmm. And I'm a little surprised, too, because last year we were spoiled. We had a Friday the 13th in October, so it landed perfectly. This year there's a Friday the 13th today in September, and I thought for a lot of these haunts, they would be open a little earlier to kind of celebrate that holiday.
Mm-hmm.
But with the home haunts, it's a little different because you're still talking about converting your front lawn. So I didn't expect too many of them to extend their season, battle the rain, battle the weather that we get here in Illinois. I mean, it's September, and today it's 80 degrees outside. Yesterday it was almost 90. So it's a little bit more of a struggle for the home haunters. But I thought for sure some of the bigger haunts would be open. And like I said, we are going to one tonight, and there are a couple open here, even in Illinois. But nobody has really taken advantage of being open an extra whole month, which I can understand. But yeah, you'll see more of those start to open up within the next coming weeks. The professional haunts tend to stretch the season even into September, a couple weeks, and then they'll stretch it into November.
I know the Hell's Gate does that into November.
Yeah, yeah, and Hell's Gate is a big one. Hell's Gate's a heavy hitter, and you actually were telling me during the break that you did a little commercial spot.
I did.
For them.
I should play it. I don't have it with me now, but I have it in my files somewhere on the computer or the other computer. Maybe I'll have to log in and see if I can find it, because I like changed my voice to make it sound creepy, and that was a really fun. That was probably one of my favorite ones that I've done.
Hell's Gate is definitely, I think I already said on this show that it's my personal favorite, but it is a titan in the haunted house industry, and what they do with their story building, and you have to get on a bus into the middle of the woods, and then you're stuck there basically. Yeah. But they aren't opening too much earlier, but I know a lot of them are doing ticket deals. So if you go on to Haunted Illinois and you find all of these commercial haunts on those lists, like we were saying, you'll be able to go and get to their websites. Some of them are running discounts for their opening weekends, and you'll still have the whole month of October to get out to this stuff, and I implore you to definitely do so.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and you were even talking about another one here too, which I thought was pretty cool. The old Joliet Haunted Prison.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So it's a real prison.
It is the real old Joliet prison that used to be the actual prison building. There are other parts of that prison that are still used, but I don't think there's any inmates being housed there these days. I think it's all administration and stuff like that. But this building has been basically abandoned, and this team from 13th Floor Chicago, if you've heard of them, you see the billboards, they do a lot of advertising. They have purchased the land, and they converted some of that building into an actual haunted house. So you can go through what used to be the actual old prison, and then you're going through the courtyard, and that one has a lot of really cool history. The limestone that you see on the facade of the prison is the actual mine that the prisoners mined out of the quarry and basically built the house that they were being kept in.
Oh, wow.
And then you have the courtyard. There's a lot of ghost stories. Of course, I'm a skeptic when it comes to some of that, but there's a lot of ghost stories that revolve around it. And then if you've seen the shows like Prison Break or a movie like The Blues Brothers, there are a lot of scenes that were filmed right there on the very grounds, and you can even take a tour. I'm sure those are mostly during the day and not during the hours that they're trying to run a haunted house, but you could take a tour of the grounds and see all of those spots, and also just see a really old, creepy, historic building.
Yeah. Have you ever been to, a place that's haunted and you ever felt something, or you, like you said, you're kind of a skeptic about it, so you're just kind of like, I don't know. I don't really
no direct. I've heard stories, no direct. I'm one of those, like, I'll believe it when I see it, and I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Have you had any kind of experiences?
I haven't. We've tried. Even in high school, we'd go out with a car full of people and go over to Munger Road, and that's one of the ones that we knew of. Or go to a cemetery.
Cuba Road? Was
Cuba Road is one.
And White Cemetery, but they have cameras. Don't be trespassing.
Yeah.
I think Rose Hill Cemetery is another one. Rose Hill.
Okay.
I think it's in Chicago.
My friends and I did Bachelor's Grove this past spring, and it was a neat experience. And you're out there with your friends, but we didn't find anything. But no, nothing for you?
No, I think when you're out doing those things, especially with a group, you're scaring each other more than more than anything out there is scaring you. And just, being in the dark and silence, and it's definitely the creep factor more than actual apparitions or spirits or anything like that.
Because I went to Rose Hill Cemetery in Chicago, because that's actually where my great grandfather's buried, and it's considered a very haunted cemetery. But I didn't expect. I went in the morning time. It was a very foggy day though. So it was like the atmosphere was very like kind of creepy, but I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like I wasn't creeped out at all. I was like, this is really cool. So I don't know. Yeah, I've never had that either really when it comes to feeling like haunted. Yeah, that's how it is.
That was our experience. My friends and I, like I said, even though we build our own haunt, we take time to go out and see everything. It was actually a night that we saw you at Greenbrier. We do like a north circuit. So we'll go up to Greenbrier from Schaumburg, where we're at, and we go up to like Algonquin Lake in the hills. There's a lot of really good houses up there. Haunt 31 is one if you haven't checked that out. That's our buddy Toby, part of the group. And at the end cap of the night, we decided we were going to drive. It's on our way back. We were coming back from Lake Zurich. We did kind of the loop. We said we're going to go down Cuba Road, and it was myself and two friends, and the lady I was with was all for it. My buddy Jake Ratner, not so much. And a lot of it, too, was because the fog rolled in that night. So you really couldn't see 5 to 10 feet in front of you. So driving down Cuba Road, going past White Cemetery, in the fog, you had to go really slow, and it just made for an even creepier environment and atmosphere. So we've made it a point now. I think what we did was that was on the Monday holiday, Indigenous Peoples Day, Columbus Day, whatever you want to call it, and we've made it a point now every Monday. That holiday, we go and we take that circuit, because most of the stuff is open for the extended weekend, and we get a chance to see a lot more with us getting a head start, not having to rush home from work or anything. So
right. Yeah,
it's a fun one.
Absolutely. What's the earliest that you get up to work for all the hauntings?
Earliest in the calendar year, or you mean earliest hourly wise?
Like hourly wise.
It depends. I mean, most of the time when we were running Voodoo on Vassar, we'd open at like 7 o'clock. I don't know about you guys.
It's pretty much sundown. I mean, you want to build that vibe. We did have a low scare day and night. One of the nights. So we at Greenbrier Cemetery, we didn't have any live actors out there. It was more low key for the little kiddos, and that was also open and running during the daylight. But that's a one-off. Most of your haunted things happen at night. So really sundown or dusk is normally the start of that. So as the fall kind of creeps in and the summer's going away here, that sun, that's really when the haunts get turned on.
Yeah. How is it when it like rains outside?
It's brutal, but as haunt builders, we've been around the block a couple times, and I think you do an even better job than we do with protecting stuff from rain.
Yeah, it's a tricky subject. Nothing's guaranteed when you're working with animatronics or powered items out in the rain.
Yeah.
But a lot of the Chicago haunt builders run and have never shut down their entire time. We have shut down, but we're trying to avoid that more and more. Unless it's a torrential downpour where nobody's going to get out of their vehicle to look at it, we're probably going to run. We've been doing a good job with weatherproofing, whether that be... I like to just the garbage bag method. So garbage bags straight over your props. You can continue to run them even in the rain if you really wanted to. But a lot of what we're doing now is protecting control boxes and electrical connections and making sure that everything is either outdoor rated or bring it up to speed as much as possible. So I would say it's probably a 50-50 shot. The best way if you're going to go out to an experience when it's going to be raining is check people's social media, especially if you know the haunt name if you know the haunt name, check their social media before you go if it is raining, just to make sure that they're open for the night. I know that myself and most haunters kind of keep their public in the know. About these things, because if you're not doing that, and people show up and your stuff is off, it's a downer. You don't want to do that to your to the community. So communicate with your people if you are a haunter, and then check out some haunters hacks. I would say on the podcast about how to protect your props from the rain.
You've had to brave 2 snowy Halloweens. We were off in 2019, but last year was tough, and 2019. How do you do that with snow?
Snow is
same way as rain, but a little bit tougher, right?
Yeah, it's a little more tough. It's heavier, I'll tell you. If it's sticking, if it's that wet snow, which it was. We did make a snowman. We made a snowman.
What year was that when it
2019.
snowed? 2019 is
2019 and then last year.
And then it was 65 on Christmas. That's wrong. That's backwards.
Yeah, so especially in the Midwest, you just never know with the weather. So you try to prepare for it all as much as possible. But especially those 2 days being on Halloween, we sent it. We started up everything. We said if it's going to break, we got all season to fix it. So we ran, no problem. We ran all night. And hopefully this year we don't get any snow. I'm crossing my fingers. It's almost 90 degrees today. Let's get that further in the season, and hopefully there'll be no snow.
Two aspects I think that come into play when you deal with weather like that is safety, and not just safety for if you have live actors like we do at Voodoo or Matt does on the weekends, but also for your props, your electrical. You don't want to be causing a fire or anything. I would recommend those Wise plugs that connect to your Wi-Fi at home, and you can control them right from your phone. And those have been a lifesaver this last year or so that we've had them. But then, like I said, safety with your actors. We get up on a structure that is on our driveway when we do Voodoo. And I took one step up there on Halloween last year and slipped a little because of the snow. And I was like, nope, you know what? We're not going to croak today. So we're not going to do this. So you just have to kind of know. And safety is a huge aspect of haunting, whether you're commercial or home haunting.
Yeah. So I have another question. We've got about 5 minutes left here. There was a question that's been kind of on my mind about this too. When it comes to haunts, do you like to have a story that goes on with the haunts, or do you kind of just focus mainly on bringing the scares? And have you noticed that maybe stories work better, or maybe they don't? Have you noticed like when people have stories that are like, that's like their main focus, that sometimes the scares get lost because they're focused on the stories, or vice versa? I mean, it's kind of a loaded-ended question because everyone's different, but.
No, yeah, I mean, so the commercial haunts have started to go more towards having a story, so that you're not just in one of those choppy haunted houses that you don't feel like you're actually in it, because you're one room, here's the butcher room, and the next thing, here's a swamp. Like, you don't feel like you're actually going through a story. So the commercial haunts, like Hell's Gate especially, have revolutionized the industry in making everything coincide and having some kind of an encapsulating story. With home haunters, it's a little bit tougher because sometimes it's just what you have to work with. At Voodoo, a couple years, we did have a quote-unquote story, and it was actually a story we told to the customers, because we don't exactly have branding. Especially those years, we were very young still. We were very new. We don't have branding like a commercial haunt. So we would actually tell them the story at the door, and then they would kind of be immersed into that story when they go through. We've kind of moved away from that, and we are one of those choppy haunts, but I still try to put like the clown room next to, we have what we call a polka dot room, which is an all black room with polka dots on the walls, a strobe light, and a black light. So the black light will illuminate the polka dots and make them glow. The strobe light will disorient you, and then we have somebody in an all-black morph suit against the wall with polka dots on them, cool. So it feels like the wall's coming at you. And I feel like with the polka dots, it keeps it a little bit more like a circus in some cases, so we try to put it next to the clown room and try to have some connectivity. But that's us. We're a walkthrough. I don't know about you. Do you have a whole lot of connectivity in yours?
So I wouldn't say a story. You do have theming, is what you're talking about at the home haunt levels. Not to say that people don't have stories, because some people do tell a story throughout their haunt. We don't. I don't know of a lot that actually do. There was a home haunter on the Great Light Fight that did a great job. I think it's Wicker Manor or something.
Lehman Manor, yeah.
No, well, that's here. But the one in Colorado had a great theme throughout, and that one was a mine shaft. It told a whole story. It was a home haunter that told a whole story, went through the mine shaft, did the whole thing. But year to year, if you're going to change that, those things get very, very hard to do, especially on the home haunt level. So, I would say stick with theming is really, but the stories are very difficult to tell in a short. You only have a guest for, I would say, maybe 5 to 25 minutes in that portion, and they're kind of doing their own thing. They're not guided in any way. I think it's hard to tell a story, but you could stick to a theme, and you could do that theme very, very well, and they would understand or create a story within the theming that you've provided.
I think you do a really nice job of sectioning off your lawn while still making it feel all together in that like sectioning it for theme, but keeping it together. And then another one that I think does a really nice job of it is Canyon Trail Cemetery, Jim Slanker in Carroll Stream, because you have your pumpkin patch, and then you have like your little witch's den, and it all flows throughout the lawn. So just go out and see these ones, because my words don't do them justice, especially this guy right here.
There you go. We've got about a minute left, so we'll close out here. If you want to, tell people how they can find you, and then also what you hope people can get out of these experiences too.
Well, the Voodoo Podcast is where you'll find both of us, like I said, on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or you can check on Facebook or Instagram for Voodoo, but that's more of our Voodoo on Vassar home haunt, but we'll still post on there. For Greenbrier, you're actually running this year, so people are going to have to check you out.
Yeah, so you can find us on greenbriercemetery.com or any of our socials, which is Greenbrier Cemetery on Instagram and Facebook. So you can find us pretty much anywhere. If you Google us, you'll find us.
There you go. And of course, don't forget, folks, Nightmare on Chicago Street. Save the date for October 19th. Very much so looking forward to it. Hope you are as well. Thank you both for joining us today on Out to Lunch. Had a great time talking. We'll definitely have to have you on again, of course. Stay tuned for Saturday, too.
Yeah, on the rise, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Saturdays.
Awesome, awesome. We're going to take a quick time out, and we'll be back with more Out to Lunch, and we'll actually go into our Tradio segment. So stay tuned for that, and we'll be back.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Curdan. Brought to you by Sky Rizzy. La Fiesta de Elgin getting underway today with the Elgin Market expansion at the Riverside Drive Promenade, starting from 3 to 7 p.m. The car meet will be at the City Hall parking lot at 100 Douglas Avenue from 5 to 8 p.m. And Grito and cultural performances at the Civic Center Plaza, 125 North Grove Avenue from 6 to 8 p.m. tonight. The Elgin Police Department yesterday celebrating National Policewoman Day, paying tribute to the 46 women who are sworn law enforcement officers in the city of Elgin at this time. The Kane County Sheriff's Office set down in the memory of K9 Hudson with a dedicated memorial today. The ceremony, scheduled for 10 a.m. today at the Sheriff's Office, pays tribute to the valiant Dutch Shepherd who was fatally shot in a law enforcement operation in Geneva last year. K9 Hudson had been a crucial part of the Kane County team for nearly 3 years, primarily assisting with narcotics detection. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Curdan.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super-rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN. Off day for the Cubs on Thursday. Chicago's 5 games out of a wild card in the National League tonight. They begin a series at Colorado. 7-5, Javier Assad scheduled to start. The White Sox were off Thursday. They host Oakland tonight. 6-11, Garrett Crochet, the starter. The Sox have 15 games to go and have 114 losses. The Major League record, 120, set by the 1962 Mets. The Bears visit Houston on Sunday. At practice Thursday, wide receivers Roma Dunze and Keenan Allen remained out. The Bears beat the Titans 24-17 to open the season, while the Texans beat the Colts 29-27. Illinois football plays host to Central Michigan tomorrow. The 2-0 start, the best in head coach Brett Bielema's 4 seasons. Northwestern home tomorrow against Eastern Illinois. Both teams come in with 1-1 records.
Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive.
I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Everybody, great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API-SP test limits.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Joe Fallon's bedroom mini fridge. Sure, this pint-sized chiller's max capacity is 3 soda cans, but what it lacks in stature, it makes up in cooling strength. Each beverage a perfect 37 degrees every time. And the 2 feet Joe walks to get a drink, priceless. That's why his mini fridge is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
All right, welcome back, folks, to Out to Lunch. And of course, you know what time it is. It is our Tradio segment. Tradio, if it's got to go, post it on Tradio. If you're looking to buy, sell, trade, and or announce to the Fox River Valley, feel free to give us a call here today. 847-931-1410. You know it. That's 847-931-1410. Yes, we are getting some good callers that have called in through here within the past month or so. Yes. Of course, we want to remind you here that you're listening to WRMN AM 1410 in downtown Elgin, serving you, listeners, and the Fox River Valley for 75 years of community broadcasting. Feel free to check out our website, WRMN1410.com. After the show here, of course, 2 to 4 o'clock, we've got, actually, it's from 1 to 2, we've got Democracy Now!, and then on with Tammy and Friends, 2 to 4, and then from 4 to 6, it's a political talk show, and I'm actually going to be sitting in for a bit there, too, for one of the special guests that's going to be on, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Yes. So again, with us being in our Tradio segment, you can feel free to give me a call, 847-931-1410. Don't forget also here, too, that you can text the Image 360 line, the info number at 505-926-1410. So, of course, you're more than welcome to do that as well if you prefer to do it that way. Absolutely. Don't forget about that. Now, I also wanted to announce here, too, this is, I would consider this an announcement. Well, yeah, it's an announcement. It's not Tradio, but I found it on the Image 360 info line. It was from the first shift here. It was Mark posted it. Baked haddock orders coming up tonight. This is the Friday fish fry. This is tonight at American Legion Post 57 at 820 North Liberty Street. They are actually serving their fish fry until 1 p.m., so you still have about 25 minutes or so left, and then they'll be back again tonight, 4 to 7 p.m. Baked haddock orders must be placed before 9 a.m. Friday morning, and it's past that time. So good for dine-in or carry-outs. See you soon, and have a great weekend. Thank you to Mark for posting that here, too. Check it out, 847-741-8143. It's their fish fry coming up. And, of course, don't forget also with the Queen of Hearts, too, coming up on Monday. That's going to Be a fun time, absolutely. We'll continue on here, and we'll go through some of the other, of course, Tradio announcements here, Tradio callers that have called in within roughly the past month or so. So we actually do have one from yesterday here. And what she has is a memory craft machine. It's a sewing machine, which is pretty nice. Asking $100 for that. If you are interested, feel free to reach out to her. That number is 331-588-0423. Again, that's 331-588-0423. That's for the memory craft machine. It's the sewing machine. Very nice. Another Tradio caller here. Jerry from South Elgin calls in. He has a 1978 Corvette for sale. It's an anniversary special colors. So it's the anniversary special colors of silver and gray. It's got 54,000 miles on it and good tires. Asking $15,500 on the asking price there, but says that you can make a deal too. So feel free to reach out to Jerry. That is 331-442-1856. 331-442-1856. Again, is that number to dial. Continuing on here, another Tradio caller. This is Dave, located in South Elgin. So we had Jerry from South Elgin. Now we have Dave from South Elgin. He's got 2 items for sale. He has a janitorial cart. It's about, I would say 3 feet high. He says about 3 feet high by 1.5 feet wide. Has a little bag that comes with it too, as well as a place to put the mop bucket. Also comes with the mop bucket, 2 mops, cleaning supplies, and more. Everything put together for $50 on that one. And then he also has a little giant ladder system. So it's a little giant ladder. It's a system, versatile system ladder. It folds in half. Extended, it's 23 feet when fully extended. And then it also comes with stair adjustment hardware, as well as 2 work platforms that go with it. It's very heavy duty and sturdy ladder, asking $150 for this. So if anyone is interested, feel free to call Dave of South Elgin. That is 331-588. I'm sorry, 331-588-0493. 331-588-0493 is that number. Another Tradio caller here has furniture for sale in Wayne, Illinois. Dining room set. It's got a marble table included on top there. Queen size bed. Antiques including dressers, tea tables, office furniture, 2 old radios, 2 pianos including an upright piano. They're all in great condition, including also here some vintage bookcases and typewriters. She's got a long list of good things. Included in this, she also does have, or actually included in her listing, but it's not like included in all unless you want to get all of them, of course. That's a lot of antiques, though. She also has a 1976 Spitfire. Comes with a hard top. Very good condition. So if anyone is interested, feel free to reach out to her. That is 630-267-5543. Again, that's 630-267-5543. Another Tradio caller here, Mike, is looking for some comic books. So he's looking for some comic books, anything from the 90s and before. Old toys, vintage, Star Wars, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the works from the 80s and before. And then he's also looking for some baseball cards from the 70s and before. If any of the items I just listed, you have them, give him a call. He's got cash in hand. That's 847-489-9263. Again, 847-489-9263 is that number to dial. Also, another shout out to Matt, our guest here today on Out to Lunch, Mike and Matt. He gave me one of these. It's the Greenbrier Cemetery garlic hot sauce he gave to me today. So pretty cool. He also gave me some really cool stickers here as well. So very nice. Nice little stickers here. Welcome to your nightmare. It's Greenbrier Cemetery, established in 2019 at 49 Greenbrier Drive in Gilbert's. Greenbrier Cemetery. Visit their website. Pretty cool. Very nice. Enjoy this. It's a little bit of a hot sauce. So I'll maybe have to try it on maybe some breakfast. He recommends on tacos or also on eggs for breakfast. Sounds pretty good. Have to give it a try for sure, of course. We've got here also Wood by Jeff of Elburn. He has some free items. Garden stakes, canning jars, and fishing lures are for sale. He also has an aromatic cedar wood. They're scrap pieces. And also some shelving boards that are pine wood. They're solid wood, pine solid wood. Also has concrete boards, piece of a hand railing, peg boards, and also firewood too. He also has 4 adjustable window screens for free. And then he also does have a tornado shelter as well, a couple of them, as well as here too, some maple pieces, 2x6s, $2 each on those. And then he also is looking for a truck or a minivan, and you could trade with the shelters if you are interested in getting those tornado shelters. He could do a trade. Feel free to give him a call. That is 630-365-9488. Again, 630-365-9488. Another radio caller here, Greg, looking to buy some old bicycles, balloon tires, bone shakers, Schwinn bicycles from the late 1800s to the 1970s and or 80s. They are, again, parts, pieces, and or accessories. They really can be in any condition as well, too. So that's pretty nice. He's a collector, not a dealer, so he'll pay a good price on those, top dollar. And as well here, too, he's looking for vintage Omega watches. Men's or women's watches, and also diver-style watches, too. He has for sale a Tektronix 535A electrical tester, $90 or best offer. He also has a car for sale, a 2003 Ford Mustang convertible, very well taken care of. Also has some new tires on there too, and brakes. 81,000 original miles on there. The color is charcoal gray with a leather interior. The CD player doesn't work, but if you're interested, take a look at it. Make him an offer. That number is 847-884-6033. 884-6033. Again, is that number to dial. Taking a look here, we have a caller on hold. We'll take it to the phone lines. Hi there, caller. You're on with WRMN.
Hi, Matt. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So I thought they weren't going to do Saturdays. Now, are they still going to do Saturdays on selling, I forget, Tradio or I forget what it's all called. Or is it just to pick up certificates?
Oh, for Shop Show. It's just going to be for picking up 9 to 12 in Redemption Center on Saturdays.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, and then they're closed during the week?
Yes, during the week. So we're open on Saturday from 9 to 12.
Okay. And that's going to be pretty firm for a while now.
Until further notice. Yeah, until further notice. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 9 to noon. Okay. And then, there's not going to be any sales or anything on the radio. Right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for calling in. I think you were looking for the Spanish books. Are you still looking for them?
Yeah, if anybody has them, but if not, that's fine.
All right. And then what's the number to dial?
847-845-1763. But I haven't heard anything, so it's okay. You don't have to keep saying it.
Okay. I don't mind, but if not, that's totally fine. I can remove it too.
All right. Okay. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye now. 847-931-1410 is that number to dial. We'll continue on here in just a bit. It is already 12:46. I'm going to take a quick time out. We'll be back with more Out to Lunch in our Tradio segment in just a bit.
The weather is getting better, and we know it's the time when ladders and DIYers come out. Before you start any new outdoor projects, ComEd wants you to know that electricity can jump from a power line to you and the tools you're using. So maintain a safe distance from any power lines. You can also call ComEd at 1-800-EDISON-1 to have those power lines de-energized the next time you do any type of work around them. Stay smart, stay safe, stay back. ComEd, powering lives.
Michael Brown, former Undersecretary of Homeland Security and Director of FEMA, is your new full-time host of The Weekend, which airs every Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. right here on WRMN. Each week on the popular 3-hour program, Brown offers listeners a fresh take on the weekend talk with his provocative insights into current events, politics, and culture. So late in the day on Saturday, make it a point to catch The Weekend with Michael Brown right here on WRMN, AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
A truckload of methamphetamine disguised as a shipment of watermelons was seized at the U.S.-Mexican border crossing into San Diego, U.S. Customs and Border Protection said. Methamphetamine valued at more than $5 million was found August 16th when the cargo aboard a tractor-trailer from Mexico was unloaded for a detailed inspection, the agency said in a statement. Among real watermelons, officers found 1,220 packages wrapped in paper colored to look like watermelon skins. The total weight of the packages amounted to 4,587 pounds or 2,080 kilograms. Wow, there's a lot to unwrap here, besides all the packs of meth. Can you imagine the conversation that went into the scheme-hatching plan for this? What about the conversation someone sparked that finally had them search the truckload of watermelons? There's no way I'm going to believe that the Border Patrol found this truck the first time they tried this tomfoolery. I am praying that there were no forest preserve barbecue functions that are cutting into these magical slices of watermelon. My personal biggest question, why didn't they just hollow out some of the watermelons? I'm Darian Sims, and this is how I see it.
Available now on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com is the book called DUI Jury Trial, which is the true story of a truck driver in Illinois who was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol. Not only was he facing a revocation of his driver's license, but also a lifetime disqualification of his commercial driver's license, which would prevent him from ever driving a semi-truck again. This book includes the backstories of the truck driver, the lawyers that defended his case, and the DUI expert witness who analyzed the case and then testified at trial as to the proper protocol procedures of the field sobriety test as well as the breathalyzer tests. This nonfiction novel also includes the actual court transcripts from the jury trial, a courtroom showdown in which the final verdict would determine the fate of the defendant's livelihood. The book, DUI Jury Trial, is now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com.
All right, welcome back, folks, to Out to Lunch with WRMN AM 1410. We hope you're enjoying your Friday. It's the weekend, yes. Close to it. We're getting closer into the weekend, yes. Absolutely. Hopefully you're having a good day so far. Hopefully you are enjoying the day, whether you're going out for a nice cup of coffee. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Absolutely. It's a beautiful day outside today. We've got the sun shining. We've got the breeze coming through here. I didn't go into the weather because we hopped right into the interview here. So we'll see here. What do we have actually going for some temperatures right now? So for some of the Elgin area weather here. So it's 84 degrees today. That's what we're seeing here. We're going to be seeing into pretty much the rest of this week, next week, also in the 80s. So if you do like the nice summer weather, this is, of course, a way to do it, to keep it up with the summer weather here. We've got here a high of 87 tomorrow on Saturday. We have for Sunday a high of 89 degrees. It's supposed to be pretty much partly cloudy, mostly cloudy a little bit here as we get in through the rest of the weekend. We see for next week here too, Monday through Friday, pretty much staying within the mid to higher 80s in temperature. Monday, we do see partly cloudy. Tuesday, supposed to be mostly sunny, as well as Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So again, we're going to be seeing here too, with the Elgin weather within the Fox River Valley, some nice weather. We're seeing some nice weather here. Not a whole lot of rain that we're going to be seeing coming in through here too. So if you still have some flowers to water, it's important to keep up with that too. We got to keep it up here too. My brother and I water the cemetery flowers. We've got some flowers planted for my grandparents. And so we always like to keep them nice and fresh during the summer season and even a little bit earlier into the fall, which really you could say now too, because, you know, like I say, we live in Illinois, so you never know, of course. I would say, you know, summer weather kind of keeping around even as we're into middle of September. Friday the 13th today, by the way, too. Hello. Cool is that? Maybe I'll have to watch Friday the 13th. I'll have to watch it tonight. No, I think I'm going to go to see Beetlejuice tonight. I think we're going to do that. Is that right? Because my dad's going out tonight with a group of friends. Yeah, that's what we're doing. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go see Beetlejuice tonight. It should be fun. I'll wear the shirt. I'll wear the nice kind of whimsical striped shirt I'm wearing today. So again, that's the weather and temperature that we're going to be seeing here into the rest of this week. Into next week as well. We'll continue on here with some more Tradio callers that have called in within the past roughly month or so. I would say roughly month or so here. So we'll definitely go through the rest of those, get the message passed along. We left off here with Greg with the old bicycles, as well as, of course, the 2003 Ford Mustang that he has for sale. That number is 847-884-6033 is that number to dial. Another Tradio caller here has the RV fridge for sale. It is a Dometic RV fridge in the color silver on the front. The dimensions are 23 inches in width by 42 inches in height by 23 and a half inches deep. It's a model 2554 AC/DC. It's an electric 12 volts. Originally paid $800 for it, but he's asking $450 on the price there, the asking price. He also has some new tires. They are P235 by 70 by 16. 4 of them, $100 for them. He's located in McHenry on the north side. Feel free to give him a call. That number is 815-245-0670. Again, that's 815-245-0670 is that number to dial. Another Tradio caller here, John, calling in, has some items for sale, including an autographed Walter Payton football helmet in full size for $200. He also has a simple display case with approximately 20 real casino chips that are collections too. So for all the collectors out there. Included in these are chips that are usually from businesses that are no longer in operation. Some of them still are, though. $100 worth of chips. He's asking $125 for those chips and the case. Can send you pictures, too, if you're interested. Feel free to give John a call here. He can be reached at 630-440-1504. Again, that's 630-440-1504. Another Tradio caller here, Tony, looking for some motorcycles. Dead or alive, they can be in any condition. He has a trailer for transportation on those too, as well as cash in hand. He also does have, or is looking for, a VW bus from the 60s, 70s, and or 80s. And he also has a friend that is looking for a small house, 1 to 2 bedroom home, looking for the home in McHenry area and also Fox Lake too. Feel free to reach out to him. That number is 630-335-3312. Again, that's 630-335-3312 is the number to dial. Another Tradio caller here. We have Carl calling in. He has a boat for sale. It is a 14-foot Lund, 1970 model. It also has a 18 horsepower Mercury motor on there too. Also has a trailer that comes with it as well, and everything works fine. Asking $1,200 for it, or best offer. If anyone is interested, feel free to reach out to Carl. That number is 630-951-1998. Again, that's 630-951-1998. And then finally, here we have Bill. Bill sells posters, original theatrical posters. Yes, not reprints. How cool is that? From the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, you can email him at billsellsposters@gmail.com. Again, that's billsellsposters@gmail.com. Or you can, of course, also message him too. Send him a text message. That is 708-793-3980. Again, that's 708-793-3980. That's the number to dial. There you go. Or text. He prefers text, but if you want to email him too, that's billsellsposters@gmail.com. We've got about a minute left here. Just a reminder, check out our website, WRMN1410.com. You can take a look at what we have here to offer, of course, for our lineup. We are very excited to be having our new show coming up, On the Rise with Mike and Derek. That's going to be coming up tomorrow. That'll be from 8 until 10 o'clock. From 8 until 10 is when that's going to be coming up here. And we're looking forward to that show. I think it's going to be a good show earlier in the morning here. You can also take a look too, 10 to 12, we've got Marcus Mack on. And then from 12 to 1, it's going to be Chief Guard of the Republic with Michael Tuman. So we've got some new shows coming up here. Absolutely. We've also got Court Stevens coming around the corner as well too. So we've got some good lineup of new shows, local programming here, and we're looking forward to expanding our local programming. If you would like to join the lineup, if you have a show or want a show, join the lineup. Feel free to contact us, WRMN1410.com. You can also, of course, call the office number 847-741-7700. Dino's extension is 102 and mine is 104. Stay tuned and have a wonderful rest of your day and a happy Friday the 13th.